Cruise ships make spending feel easy. Some upgrades save stress, others just pad your bill. Today, we're going through 8 cruise upgrades that are actually worth paying for when they fit your trip. Stay tuned until the end, because the smartest one is usually decided long before you board the ship. Number 8. Specialty dining once or twice. Specialty dining can absolutely be worth the money, but only when you treat it like a special moment, not a replacement for everything already included. Your cruise fare already covers plenty of food. You have the main dining room, the buffet, casual spots, snack areas, and usually more options than you can realistically try in one sailing. So if you pay for specialty dining every night, you may end up paying twice for meals. That's where people get it wrong. Specialty dining is not worth it because the regular food is bad. It's worth it because it changes the feeling of one night. The room is usually quieter. The service can feel more focused. The meal is paced better. You're not rushing through a crowded buffet or sitting in a dining room packed with hundreds of passengers at the same time. For one evening, the cruise feels less like a busy resort and more like a proper night out. And that can matter. It's especially worth it for a birthday, anniversary, first night on board, a couple's night, or final evening before you head home. One good steakhouse dinner, sushi night, seafood meal, or Italian restaurant can become the night you actually remember when the trip is over. But the smart move is restraint. Don't book specialty dining just because the cruise line keeps promoting it. Pick one restaurant you genuinely want, maybe 2 if it's a longer cruise. Check the menu before you go, and book early if the restaurant's popular. Then let it feel intentional. The upgrade is not the food alone. It's the slower pace, the quieter room, and the feeling that you stepped away from the crowd for a little while. That is when specialty dining earns its price. And this is the rule for most cruise purchases. If it solves a real problem or improves a specific moment, it can be worth it. If it only sounds exciting in the booking portal, be careful. Now, a good dinner improves one night. The next upgrade can protect the whole trip. Number 7. Proper cruise travel insurance. Now, travel insurance is the least glamorous purchase on this list, but it may be the one that saves you the most money if something goes wrong. A cruise is not just a hotel stay. It's a moving vacation with flights, ports, ship schedules, luggage transfers, foreign rules, weather, medical care, and sometimes several countries in one itinerary. When everything works, it feels simple. When one piece breaks, the cost can move quickly. A delayed flight can make you miss embarkation. A family emergency can force you to cancel. A bag can disappear. A medical issue can happen in a country where your usual health coverage may not help much. And if a serious transport or evacuation is needed, that's not a bill you want to face alone. That's why proper insurance is worth considering before every cruise. Now, the key word is proper. Don't just click the first policy you see because it's easy. Cruise line insurance may be convenient, and sometimes it may be enough, but independent policies may offer different coverage, so compare the details before you buy. Look for medical coverage. Look for emergency evacuation coverage. Check cancellation and trip interruption rules. Check missed connection coverage if you're flying to the port. Make sure the policy covers your full trip, not just the cruise fare. Flights, hotels, prepaid excursions, and transfers can all matter. This becomes even more important if you're cruising internationally, sailing with older relatives, taking children, booking an expensive itinerary, or flying in close to embarkation day. Insurance is not about expecting disaster. It's about respecting how many moving parts a cruise has. Now, if you're still planning your next sailing, grab the free cruise checklist link below. It helps you sort out what to buy early, what to compare, and what to check before boarding, so you're not making rushed decisions when the ship is already waiting. Now, smart cruisers do not buy everything. They cover the risks that could actually hurt them. And once the biggest risks are handled, the next question is smaller, but still important. How connected do you really need to be while you're at sea? Number 6, the right Wi-Fi package. Cruise Wi-Fi is worth paying for when it gives you peace of mind. It's not worth paying for when it simply drags your normal distractions onto the ship. That difference matters. Some travelers really do need internet. Maybe you have kids at home. Maybe you need to check on a pet sitter. Maybe you're watching flight changes, bank alerts, private tour messages, work updates, or family emergencies. For most travelers, being completely disconnected does not feel relaxing. It feels stressful. A Wi-Fi package can make the cruise feel calmer, but the mistake is buying the biggest plan automatically. Most cruise lines offer different internet levels. The most expensive plan may be designed for streaming, video calls, or heavier use. If you only need basic messaging, email, and occasional checks, you may not need that level. You also may not need a package for every device. If you're traveling with someone and only need light access, one device plans can sometimes be shared by logging in and out. Now, that's not as convenient as everyone having full access all the time, but it can save money if your needs are simple. Now, also check prices before sailing. Cruise lines often offer better rates before the trip than on board. Waiting until embarkation day may cost more for the same service. But before buying, ask one honest question. What problem is this solving? If the answer is family, safety, work, travel logistics, or peace of mind, the package may be worth it. If the answer is boredom, maybe the better move is to enjoy the ship without scrolling through the same things you see at home. The goal is not to stay online all day. The goal is to stay connected enough that you can relax. A good Wi-Fi package should give you control without stealing the cruise from you. That is the line. Now, Wi-Fi keeps you connected on board, but the next purchase protects your time in port, and that can matter even more. Number 5, cruise line excursions in complicated ports. Cruise line excursions are not always the best deal. In easy ports, you may not need them at all. If the ship docks close to town, taxis are organized, the area feels simple, and the main sites are nearby, exploring on your own can be cheaper and more flexible. But complicated ports are different. That's where a cruise line excursion can be worth the money. Think about ports where the best attraction is far from the ship. Maybe the ruins are 2 hours away. Maybe the beach requires a long transfer. Maybe the port uses tender boats. Maybe traffic is unpredictable. Maybe there's a language barrier, or maybe transport is confusing. Maybe the return time is tight. In those situations, you're not just paying for a tour, you're paying for structure. The meeting point is clear. Transportation is handled. The timing is built around the ship. The guide understands the schedule, and the cruise line knows where the group is supposed to be. Now, that does not mean nothing can ever go wrong. Travel always has some risk, but an official excursion usually gives you more logistical protection than trying to manage a complicated day completely alone. Now, this matters most when missing the ship would be a real problem. Nobody wants to become the person running down the pier while everyone watches from the balcony. It looks funny online, but in real life, it can mean hotels, flights, stress, and trying to catch the ship in another port. So use a simple rule. If the port is easy, consider exploring independently. If the port is far, tender-based, time-sensitive, unfamiliar, or hard to navigate, the official excursion may be worth paying for. You're buying more than sightseeing. You're buying a cleaner day. So far, these upgrades protect your meals, your money, your connection, and your time. But the next few are about how the cruise feels once you're living on board day after day. Number 4, prepaid gratuities. Prepaid gratuities are not exciting. Nobody comes home from a cruise talking about them first. Nobody takes a photo of their prepaid service charges. And nobody says the highlight of the trip was handling gratuities early. But they're still worth considering. Why? Because they make the final bill feel cleaner. Most major cruise lines add daily gratuities or service charges to your onboard account. Now, depending on the line, those charges help cover the crew members who serve you throughout the cruise, including dining staff, cabin stewards, and other service teams. On top of that, many onboard purchases may come with automatic gratuities added. Drinks, beverage packages, specialty dining, spa services, and some room service orders can all carry extra charges. So even if you're thinking you're being careful, your onboard account can grow faster than expected. Now, prepaying gratuities does not always save you money. That's not the main value. The value is control. You handle one predictable cost before the cruise begins. Then, when you're on board, your account feels less cluttered. You're not watching the same daily charge stack up night after night. And on the final evening, the bill feels less surprising. This is especially helpful for first-time cruisers, families, and anyone traveling on a tighter budget. Cruise spending rarely feels painful in the moment. It builds quietly. A coffee, a drink, a souvenir, a photo, a small fee, another service charge. Then the final statement arrives and suddenly the trip feels more expensive than expected. Prepaid gratuities separate one expected cost from your fun spending. Now, you can still tip extra in cash if someone gives you excellent service. Prepaying does not stop you from being generous. It just gives you a cleaner starting point. Now, this is not a glamorous upgrade, but it's a practical one. And practical upgrades are often the ones that make the cruise feel calmer. Now, once the boring part of the bill is handled, let's talk about comfort, because the next upgrade can become your quiet escape from the busiest parts of the ship. Number 3. A thermal suite pass. A thermal suite pass can be one of the most underrated cruise upgrades. Not every ship has a great one, and not every traveler will use it. But when the ship has a good thermal suite and you actually enjoy quiet spaces, it can change the rhythm of your cruise. Most people think of the spa as a place for one treatment, a massage, a facial, maybe one appointment on a sea day. That can be nice, but it's over quickly. A thermal suite pass is different because it can become part of your routine. Now, depending on the ship, it may include heated loungers, saunas, steam rooms, therapy pools, rainfall showers, ocean view relaxation rooms, or quiet adult-focused areas away from the noise. That kind of space matters on a crowded ship. Not everyone wants pool games and loud music, packed hot tubs, and busy decks every afternoon. Some travelers want somewhere warm, quiet, and calm. Somewhere they can sit, breathe, and reset without feeling surrounded by the whole ship. That is where the value comes in. A thermal suite can be especially worth it on an Alaska cruise, Norway cruise, Northern Europe sailings, transatlantic crossings, and cooler itineraries where the pool deck may not always be comfortable. On those cruises, a warm indoor retreat can feel more valuable than another paid dinner. But don't buy blindly. Thermal suites vary a lot by ship. Some are spacious and beautiful. Others are small, crowded, and not impressive enough for the price. Before booking, look up ship-specific tours and recent reviews. Check what's included. Check whether access is limited. And check whether the space looks peaceful or packed. The name alone does not guarantee value. The actual room does. If you want more practical cruise tips like this, join the free Cruise Smarter community. Inside, you'll find extra tips, modules, and guidance to help you travel smarter, avoid spending traps, and get more out of the upgrades that truly improve your trip. A good thermal suite gives you calm. And calm is one of the most valuable things you can buy on a busy cruise ship. But the next upgrade is more debated, because it can either save you money or pressure you into spending more than you planned. Number 2, the right beverage package. A beverage package can be worth it, but only if it matches how you already drink. That's the part many cruisers ignore. They hear drink package and think it automatically means freedom. No receipts, no second guessing, no worrying about every cocktail, soda, coffee, or bottle of water. And for some travelers, that's true. But for others, it becomes a trap. The problem is that a package can change your behavior. Instead of ordering what you want, you start ordering because you feel like you have to break even. Now, that's not a relaxing upgrade. That's a daily assignment. Before buying, do the simple math. Take the daily cost of the package, divide it by the average price of the drinks you would actually order. That tells you roughly how many drinks you need every day just to make the package worth it. Then remember port days. If you're off the ship for 6 or 8 hours, you have less time to use the package. A drink package may look great on a cruise with several sea days, but less useful on a port-heavy itinerary where you're away from the ship most of the day. Now also check the rules. Some cruise lines require both adults in the same cabin to buy the alcohol package, or they may have other conditions that change the real cost. And remember, the alcohol package is not the only option. For many cruisers, the better value may be a soda package, coffee package, bottled water package, or refreshment package with mocktails and specialty drinks. If you love specialty coffee in the morning, sparkling water during the day, mocktails by the pool, and a soda with dinner, a non-alcoholic package may make more sense than the full alcohol package. The best beverage package is the one that fits your habits without forcing you to change them. If you're a light drinker, skip it. If you mostly drink water, skip it. If you're in port almost every day, think carefully. But if the numbers work and you like the convenience, this can be a very useful upgrade. You're not just buying drinks, you're buying fewer decisions. And sometimes that's what makes the cruise feel easier. Still, drinks only affect part of the day. The final upgrade affects every morning, every night, and every quiet moment in between. Number 1, the right cabin location. The smartest cruise upgrade is often not a package. It's choosing the right cabin. This is where many travelers make their biggest mistake. They spend money on drinks, dining, excursions, spa access, and souvenirs, but they treat the cabin like it doesn't matter. Then they board and realize the room is the problem. Maybe it's under the pool deck and every morning begins with chairs scraping above the ceiling. Maybe it's near a nightclub, theater, or busy hallway. Maybe it's far forward and you feel more motion than expected. Maybe it's too far from the elevator or too close to the elevator. Maybe the balcony view is blocked in a way you didn't understand when you booked. A bad cabin can follow you every day. That's why cabin location can be worth paying for. But it doesn't mean everyone needs a suite. The right cabin depends on the traveler and the itinerary. For some people, an interior cabin is the smartest choice on the ship. If you only sleep, shower, and change there, paying for a balcony may not matter. That money might be better used on excursions or another cruise. But on scenic itineraries, a balcony can be worth it. Alaska, Norway, the Mediterranean, the Panama Canal, anywhere the view is part of the experience. On those cruises, your cabin becomes more than a room. It becomes a private viewing space. You can step outside with coffee, watch the coastline, see mountains or glaciers, and enjoy the scenery without fighting for rail space upstairs. And if you get seasick, location matters even more. A lower midship cabin can feel more stable than a higher cabin far forward or far aft. If you have mobility concerns, being near an elevator can make the ship easier. But if you're a light sleeper, you may not want to be directly beside the elevator lobby. If you travel with family, connecting cabins may be better than squeezing everyone into one room. Before booking, study the deck plan. Look at what is above you, below you, and beside you. Avoid cabins under loud public areas if you can. Be careful with rooms near theaters, clubs, pool decks, service areas, and busy stairwells. The cabin is the one upgrade you use every single day. You wake up there, you sleep there, you rest there, you return there after long port days. You recover there when the ship feels crowded. That is why it belongs at number 1. Before spending hundreds on extras, make sure the room itself will not become your biggest regret. You can still buy a drink on board. You can still book dinner. You can still add Wi-Fi. But fixing the wrong cabin is much harder. The best cruise purchase is not always the most exciting one. Sometimes it's simply sleeping well, walking less, hearing less noise, feeling less motion, and waking up in a room that fits the cruise you actually wanted. Now, before your next sailing, grab the free cruise packing checklist link below. Then click the video on the screen. I'm sure you'll love it. Spend where it changes the trip. Skip what only looks impressive. And cruise in control. That's how you travel smarter. Your voyage is just beginning.